Hey everybody, it's Eric, 80s Horror Man here, and welcome to day 15 for my 31 Days of Horror. Today I'll be doing a movie that was put out by Scream Factory, and this was done in 1984. This is a 2-disc edition where it's got the theatrical version and the director's cut. And this is like one of the most controversial slasher horror films ever made. And that's Silent Night, Deadly Night. So, like I said, this movie was like one of the most controversial horror films ever made in the 80s because if you watch on the DVD documentary Going to Pieces, The Rise and Fall of the Slasher Film, when this movie was getting ready to come out, a lot of people were protesting and signing petitions to get this movie banned from theaters. And the two women on that documentary saying, "We're not doing this to be famous." Bullshit. So, well, I think they were doing it just to be famous, so that's a complete lie. That's bullshit right there. But basically, the reason why there were signed petitions and protesting to get this movie banned from theaters because it has something to do with a guy dressed in a Santa Claus costume going on a murderous rampage. So basically, this movie is about where a little boy named Billy, him and his family were on their way home from seeing their grandfather who's like at a mental hospital on Christmas Eve. But then they end up getting attacked by a guy dressed in a Santa Claus costume. He kills the father and ends up raping and killing the mother. And Billy ends up growing up in an orphanage, being abused by nuns. And then when he's finally 17, I believe, he gets a job working at a toy store. And then the boss decides to have him dress in a Santa Claus outfit for the kids. And then he just starts to have visions and flashbacks from what happened to him as a child on Christmas Eve. But then all of a sudden he just snaps and he just can't take it no more. And then he just goes around punishing the people who thinks they've been naughty or just punishing certain people who are just doing very bad things. So this movie is actually a very fun classic slasher 80s horror movie. And like I said, this was controversial, but I mean, the people were just idiots back then, just protesting and signing petitions just to get this movie banned, just because it has something to do with a guy dressed in a Santa Claus costume going on a murderous rampage. But, I mean, if I was around in that year, I'd be like, "Geez, people, will you get a grip? It's just a movie." Yeah. So, I mean, like I said, the two women on that Going to Pieces documentary saying we're not doing this to be famous. Well, I think that's a lie. That's bullshit because I think they were doing it just to be famous. So Linnea Quigley, who's also in this movie, has like a very most recognizable death scene in that movie where Billy picks her up and kind of like puts her like onto the mounted deer's antlers right above the fireplace. So that's like one of the most recognizable kills. And also another recognizable one is like when a bully was sliding down the hill and Billy just pops out of nowhere, makes a left-handed swing, and just cuts off the bully's head while he's sliding down the rest of the hill completely headless. I talked to Robert Brian Wilson about that when I met him at the ScareCon event, and he said that it was a difficult shot to do because he used to swing in right-handed, but he had to make a left-handed swing. But overall, this is a very fun movie. I have the soundtrack. The music is not bad. So, out of a possible 10, I give this movie an 8 out of 10 because this movie was just so much fun to watch and it's very enjoyable. So, Silent Night, Deadly Night, highly recommend checking it out. Alright, guys, so that's my review for day 15 for my 31 Days of Horror. What do you guys think? Have you seen this movie before? Please let me know in the comments down below. Like and subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for some more videos. Later.